Hello, dear viewer. I'd like to talk about this thing that's been very common for people nowadays. Maybe it's not just for Gen Zs specifically, maybe for younger generations. It can be for older generations as well, but it's basically for people who haven't really matured much emotionally. We are talking about emotional suppression. Emotional suppression is when you try when is when you hold your emotions in. You don't express them. You don't outright let it out. You act like everything is fine. You you somewhat don't agree and don't act according to it. Sometimes we all think that it's good. It does have its benefits. It has its pros and cons. Men and women actually experience it a little differently. And sometimes it is beneficial during specific times. Specifically when you are trying to maintain professionalism, it's really good to be able to suppress your emotions at the right time. Let's say you are trying to be sensitive over such a moment. Let's say someone is crying or someone's dying or so, as well as when maybe for social stuff. But I'll say this. Emotional suppression is not a life, a way of life, or a mentality. It is a survival mechanism that you do at specific times only. It is not something that you do for years to come, for on and on and on. No. People who are less emotionally intelligent are those that tend to go for it. No offense to the people who watch this and actually do it, but that isn't really quite the right way to get over emotions. For men specifically, first up we go for men, and later we'll cover women. Men specifically, they've been taught more on about sucking it up, or that will be taken out of context. Oh my gosh. Suck it up, endure it, just man it up, or so. This leads boys or men to suppress their emotions more often than not, and makes them only lets their emotions out only around, let's say, love their romantic partners or when they're alone. I'm not saying that women don't do that, but it's common. Emotional suppression also doesn't help much in terms of getting into relationships, specifically with fellow men. Now, talking about women, women have this very huge problem. It is more socially accepted that women get to express their emotions, but expressing their emotions makes them seem weak. There are a lot of people out there that view letting out their emotions as something that weak people do, saying that mental fortitude, so on and so forth. Everyone breaks. It isn't specified for weak people only. Everyone will break at some point. So what makes women any different? Everyone breaks. Everyone shows their emotions. It's been more socially accepted that men are more men have more mental fortitude, because men are more often more often than not suppress their emotions. But women that do, well, nowadays, there are a lot of women that suppress their emotions because of social related topics or social related things. I'm not really quite sure yet, but it's been getting common lately. Women that have, let's say, women that have gone through emotional suppression and actually moved past it, more often than not, they become caretaking roles, specifically caretakers and therapists alike. I'd say something important about emotional suppression. Emotional suppression is a very dangerous thing to keep doing. We have to acknowledge that emotional suppression isn't something that helps us. It's a tactic that you use at specific situations. It's a situational tactic. You use it only in specific scenarios. But it's not something that you have to keep doing even when the specific scenarios don't happen. Letting it out is much more important than you think. I've actually had therapy once. I don't know if I could exactly say that it's therapy, but it almost feels like therapy. It's basically an interview. Back in college, well, I am still in college. A few months ago, I was called in for an interview. Our college holds interviews for every year to check the mental health of each student, which is, I'd say, it's pretty good. It's really great that they do that. They chose mine. Someone specifically chose mine after reading my paper, because there was one thing that I wrote down on my paper back in 2024, which I wrote down, lack of anxiety. That made him, and he read my paper and thought, I am prone from breaking, which I agree. He called me in and we had a long talk. In this talk, one of the things he mentioned is everyone is a cup. Imagine a cup. The base depends on everyone. Everyone's mental fortitude. Let's say you have a very strong mental fortitude, your base is much lower than everyone else. Something stressful happens, fill the cup by a bit. Something stressful also happens again. Hold it. The cup will hold it for you. Eventually, the more you pour it into it, eventually, it will be full. Once it's full, it's bound to let it out all in one go. Maybe not all in one go. He said that was something that therapists usually use, or psychology students usually use. He told me that holding it in isn't necessarily bad, nor is it good. But we should acknowledge that holding it in shouldn't be the way you should always deal with problems. Now, I just switched up from saying don't do it to it depends on you, but don't do it. Don't always do it. Letting it out in one go can be painful, but emotional suppression has its downsides actually. It makes people more anxious, it makes people more pressured, it makes people be less trustworthy because because there is no amount of vulnerability. No one wants to show what they truly feel, which makes them less trustworthy for others. There's a way that men usually deal with it. Not saying that it's a good thing, as a good thing. Stoicism, surprisingly, Stoicism is one of the ways that people, or mainly men, deal with it. I find it somewhat surprising. Well, Stoicism, just accepting it, doesn't deal with a problem. Acceptance isn't dealing with a problem. It's making sure, it's making you think in a more rational manner, but it doesn't deal with your emotions. Oh gosh, damn. A lot of people deal with this shit every day. Not me. I'm not saying me. But be sure to check your friends, because everyone holds something, right? Everyone has some amount in their mugs, in their cups. Check on your friends. They will feel very much appreciated. A lot of people would appreciate your words. I'm very thankful that you've listened up to this far. Like I've said in my other videos, I make these videos without making a script. They aren't even extemporaneous. I just make a quick research, then just start recording and say the stuff that I want to say. Whatever my mind articulates. One thing that I really find hard about this is, of course, mental blocks and all. But again, you have to just keep going despite everything. You don't have to acting upon what I feel would have stopped me from recording and just, no, maybe it's not too good. But I have to continue. If it's for my impromptu speech, if it's to be better at speaking, then it's a must that I keep going despite my mistakes, despite the fact that I paused so many times during this video. This video was very hard to make. I'm not saying that, it took me days to edit. It's more like I really had a hard time trying to express my thoughts on this one. Trying to say things that will actually be interesting and things that will actually be part of saying things that continuously that is also not so meaningless. Although I kind of ruined it, I still feel, and I do feel a lot less confident about it. What I did is what I did. I'm confident about posting this. I'm confident that I will post this. Because it's not just because of what I feel. It's a sense of duty. Yeah, you could argue that it's emotional suppression. But damn, what kind of level of suppression would that need to be? Post it and just get over it. I'm not gonna say that it's a good method. I acknowledge it myself that I'm not perfect when it comes to these kinds of things. So, again, I am very thankful that you've watched even up to this far. Or maybe you skipped over to the end. Thank you. They would like to say thank you. give the names in the comment section.
Buda, 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 buda. I don't know.